Jim Miller.
What's up, Lefty Grimes?
Hey,
Yeah, all right.
everybody. Welcome to the Ignorance is No Excuse podcast. I'm sorry I'm on the road right now. But I don't have access to the theme song. I could sing it for you if you'd like.
No.
I know, it's not the same. I know.
So what are
Who
you
you
doing?
want to roll with? I want to call William Haney tonight. I have nothing planned. I'm on the road trying to. I'm podless, Jim. I'm podless. I'm a podless couch surfer. We did not get the support we needed.
All right, I'm back. Yeah. Oh wow. What are you doing? Where are you going?
I'm a mobile podcast. I feel like Breaking Bad in the RV.
Oh, what RV is that?
In Breaking Bad, you ever see Breaking Bad when they had the RV?
Yeah, but I thought you were in an RV now.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Where are you? Are you in your car just sitting around? Where?
I'm in my car driving to a underground bunker where I'm doing a secret podcast where nobody can find me and try to
Is that a
take my
different
license away.
podcast? Is that a different podcast, or are you taking this one to the bunker?
I have many different places I can go to, and I'm going to a secret location.
Yeah. What time are you going to get there?
Oh, a couple minutes.
Then what?
But we're live. We're live right now.
Yeah, but how do I know it's really you? I can't see you.
Oh my goodness. Hold on. You're funny. Okay. There's Jim Miller. This is Lefty Grimes.
More important, there you are. I don't want to be sitting here looking at myself and nobody else. I got coffee to drink somewhere else. I don't care.
I got my coffee. Actually, I'm here with coffee, and I'm good.
So this is all downstream from the fallout at the Mad Hatter that you don't have that. So now, yeah, the bunker. Is a bunker? Bunker's north of you?
Well, shit runs downhill, and I'm apparently at the bottom of the totem pole. So, you know how it goes. No, but I'm kidding. And man, it's going to be a matter of a couple of days. They'll be back. They had to put some paperwork in or something, and they're waiting for the CRC to get back to them, and they're not getting back to them promptly. But they need to hurry up because people are out of work. People are suffering. Medicine is being wasted.
As you take a toke. Yeah, really it is, though. So, well. And now we got a dodgy week coming up with the weather.
Yeah, we're going to have a foot of snow.
Yeah, well, it's the ice and the potential for downed wires with the heavy snow causing tree limbs to break, forms on the wires if it's ice. It's just really questionable how it's going to be. So I'm covering I'm getting a tarp. I already have one, but another one to cover the car over the doors and the windshield, where it gets the windshield to where the front doors are at least. Just because ice forming on it and you can't even get the doors open and trying to be smart. I'm not used to that.
Not used to snow or not used to being smart?
No, well, I'm used to the snow. It's just I usually think, I should have, You got to get salt and all the rock salt.
What you should do is get a battery, because that's what I have. I have a nice battery that lasts for, as long as we can blow up Atari for 90 minutes. No, no,
Yeah.
yeah. So that battery will run a refrigerator for, a day. I can charge it in my car.
Hmm. Well, speaking of the Ratari, the actual one, it's like my passwords that I occasionally change, or sometimes sometimes I have to turn off the computer a certain way to make something right, like just restart it. And
Humans need that too.
yeah,
I need
but
a reboot.
anyway, they all involve the word scrutari, SCREWTARI, and
Scrutiny.
then various forms of something that's easy to remember after it. But and he does his blockade is really vulnerable now. That I've been backtracking on what our new governor did have to say about home grow. And it's not like, well, maybe she'll do the right thing. I try to think like them from their point of view. And you always got to include, what don't they want to happen? What do they not want to have a perception out there of happening? I mean, like whatever our new governor does with the situation in New Jersey during this storm, that's it. It's her first thing. You want to go 1 out of 1. But there's easier. What we need is, and I think it'll be actually accomplishable, is to be able to get her attention in a way that she knows is on record, beyond what she had to say before and after the election about home growth. And basically, once it's easy for the public to understand she does know about the blockade on the informational hearing. Never mind if you like the bill. You don't like it, don't care. You don't have a right to not like it until you hear the goddamn bill in a hearing. Then after the hearing, don't like it all you want, love it all you want, but opinions are all invalid right now. And that's so undemocratic, especially with a healthcare bill, involving a very, susceptible portion of the population. And I don't care how anything other than if it makes them feel better watching a plant grow. I don't give a shit if it even worked on. That patients are owed this hearing after 4 years. And there are ways to at least do things like co-sponsors of the bill. They need to weigh in with the governor, and they need to make sure how unacceptable Nick Scutari's current 4-year and its 5th year of blockade. It's a Sweeney Scutari blockade will be 5 years old on February 9th. So, it's another shitty anniversary. The bill needs to be heard, needs to jump right the fucking line. Right up in the beginning, up for a hearing, and then we'll talk later. That doesn't take a lot for her to do. But this isn't just about having a hearing for patients. It involves that, but it's for having it for both bills. There should be hearings, and the argument is ready to be made by adults for adult home grow that the promise was when the program is up and running. All right, let's look at the tax numbers. What has New Jersey gotten into the Treasury? Yeah, the program's up and running, So like, I don't think Governor Sherrill wants to look like she's going to be standing on the sidelines like her predecessor did for 4 straight years. Murphy had the balls to run on legalization in the first 100 days, which of course we couldn't get that way and had to kick it to a referendum. So anyway, it'll be, I don't mean exciting, but the fact that there's a possibility of Senate President Scutari being somewhat told by the governor to end that blockade, allow Joe Vitelli to place it. Every time I phrase it, allow the first step in New Jersey's legislative due process of a bill becoming law. Legislative due process, you know, it deserves the starting gate just to know what it's about. You know, it's not about getting co-sponsors. It's not about getting votes. It's not about having a voting session. It's about having the hearing, the information. That's it. It's all it's about. So if she fails at that and it doesn't get an early start after being delayed for all this time, all these years, that's not going to look good for her, and she knows it. I think she's smart. I'm hoping she has smart people that say, look, Governor, this is very easy. You simply have to say something to Senate President Scutari. Urge him, do what it takes. I mean, it could take a minute. Then, you know, Scutari can say that he's putting it up at the urging of the governor, and then that's his back door. Nobody made me do it. Advocates didn't make me do shit. Working with the governor, and that was her wish, and I'm doing that for her. Good. Everybody's got their own little, you know, and go play. So, you know, just the fact that really could happen, and it could happen soon. I mean, it's possible to be able to be scheduled for a hearing before the dreaded mid-year, get the budget done by before July 1st, and that's their excuse for not getting shit done, and then they go into recess. So this is the session we have a chance to have bills heard, but both of them. I wouldn't imagine the one that does both of them, but it just seems like the adults and the one for just patients, the two separate ones, should both have hearings, and that could happen. I don't know. Don't worry, he'll still be Scutari, because then what's he going to do? Prevent the vote? But what he'll do, obviously, is, you know, look, the psilocybin bill. Yeah, there was going to be service centers or whatever all around the state where you could get. Okay, you weren't going to be allowed to do it at home. People already got screwed there. But at least, you know, they could do that. Oh, no, can't do that either. Now there's just those 3 places in New Jersey that it's going to be considered a research center. I don't even know what the indications are. I mean, how you know, it's very much a concept of a plan. And but they're screwed. And he, of course, floated the very strict pilot program for cannabis home grow for patients 4 years ago. So I think it's pretty obvious that when he don't want to drop the ball on this entirely. He's going to want to say, here's what I want to do. But the fact is, he already said it. It'll be almost 5 years ago now where he said that on New Jersey Spotlight News with Brianna Vannozzi. And, you know, I've resurrected that and have the transcription of everything he said then. He's just like, couldn't be more disingenuous. Oh, by the way, it would be real nice, because back then he said, as he traveled around the country talking with legislators, he found that enforcement is the problem. Okay, he traveled. When did he travel around the country? He goes to Colorado. And, you know, so basically, I think he was lying even back then. But there should be some way to verify whether he traveled places. I mean, it's all a matter of record. It's not like I'm going to go digging into it, but he knows that he can't lie about that, because if somebody does go digging, they're going to find out he didn't do shit like that. Does he know about Zoom meetings, that you don't have to actually travel somewhere to, like, do business? Unless you want to smell it or something. You know, I guess that one. There's a long way to go to smell something, though. Yeah, I think he's running out of room. And I really want that.
Maybe he considers a Zoom meeting out in California a trip out there, a visit out there.
Well, I would like to expound on what we had Colleen I forget her name, not Colleen Begler, her partner, on a podcast. And is New Hampshire, where her other concern is, dispensary. And I was hoping she was going to hit me up with her return, because it would be nice to know the people in New Hampshire who are legislators that were responsible for getting their home grow across the line in New Hampshire, and who would also be willing to say, no, the sky's not falling here. See, we don't need to be compared to Colorado. We need to be compared to like New Hampshire or Virginia, perhaps, where a Maine, non-scary places. Scutari damn well knows that he had trouble getting the medical law passed, regulations in Scutari's, in Christie's administration, because what was his mantra? We don't want to be like the Wild West of Colorado and New York. Christie said that all the time. So now Scutari talking about Colorado, he's doing exactly what Christie was doing. His full circle includes not only he got 6 across the line, 6 plants when he in the original bill, and then turned around to be preventing 4 from even being heard in committee. It should be simpler, and it's a work in progress. It's not anything that's a secret. Actually, it was an idea I had at the last coalition meeting, that we might want to do look into getting a poll done, survey for a poll through Stockton, because they're very good with both the subject matter of, well, basically, for my money, if I had money, and this is the kind of thing that if you pay for it, about $35,000, give or take. But that's what got the original medical bill across the line when DPA did a study, came back 86% say, yeah, medical marijuana law in Jersey was good. So for home grow, it's different though, to say, what about home grow for adults? How do you about home grow for just patients, medical patients, or for all adults and patients? However they phrase it. But it's a matter of getting it paid, and how much would Stockton be able to absorb some of that cost? And, so Guy got in touch with 3 people. He knows that I'm going to be on a conference call with whoever it is at Stockton that does this, and Ken and Guy and me, and I'm like 4th on that list of who really has any credibility being there. But it'd be interesting, because we couldn't get legalization passed without it being a referendum. I'm sure everybody remembers that. Couldn't get 21 senators for legalization. So we have no initiative. We can't get signatures in New Jersey and put something on the ballot. It's up to the legislature to do that. Somebody has to sponsor it, and it's a legislative process, just like they did for adult legalization 5 years ago. Well, why not kick home grow over to be a referendum? Yeah, just like getting it in, what was left out, what everybody voted on did not say home grow, and everybody assumed, because that's what all other states had. Now that Nick Scutari said on Brianna Van Nosey's there, when she said, is it true that New Jersey is the only state that has legalization that doesn't allow home grow? At the time, we were the only state that didn't allow home grow for adults when they made it legal. And he just hated having to say, yes, that's a fact. That is in fact that. But also, you need to realize that we are the most social equity whatever. Huh? Are we really? Is social equity initiatives, are they being financed currently through, I mean, is there a front of the line policy? I don't see it. So I think it's very important that not me, I'm not the guy, somebody that knows something about that. We need to know, are we satisfied with that? Because that's what Governor Murphy campaigned on. We wanted legalization on, and Scutari. And if he's saying that, even though it was 5 years ago, did it come true? See, maybe in the beginning, 5 years ago, when it got passed, he was bragging about it because, well, it sounded good and it was probably written up that way or going to be written up that way. But the fact is, I don't believe it worked out over the past 5 years. I don't think social equity concerns are that much better off for it, you know? So at any rate, when we were the only state then, 5 years ago, and he acknowledged that, and the program is up and running, he'd have to redefine what that means. What's the trigger point? You know, is it a certain amount of money we got to get in the treasury first before we do it? What? You know, so it's kind of the movement that's possible under this new administration without it being anything to do with Phil Murphy. I do think our new governor will see this as the lowest of low-hanging fruit, a discussion without taking sides to say, my Senate President, Nick Scutari, I don't know what to think of the bill. I'm the freaking governor, and I don't know what to think because you won't allow a hearing. If you had allowed a hearing, I'd have something to know. So you're holding stuff up. It's a health care bill, blah, 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 you know. It's a popular issue that would only get her advanced support as she begins her tenure as our next governor. And you really want early successes because that's kind of what sticks with people. So for her to do this and recognize, no, it doesn't wait till after everything else gets done. This is like a hearing and it can happen simultaneously, you know. We better be able to do a lot of things concurrently rather than consecutively here. So I got hopes for that. Lefty's on the run. He's in between. Well, I hope everybody has a good start to the year. Yes. Marina, remember Governor Murphy promised marijuana would be legal with 100 days of office. He also promised to raise taxes, one out of two, not to raise prices, one out of two. Yeah, you know, and it wasn't legal anywhere within 100 days, and that made our Senator Scutari really pissed off, you know, why we weren't, but it just couldn't get voted in. It took being voted on to do it, and then came, you know, the vote. You only say so much on the ballot. I was caught short. I was surprised by how many people assumed in a state like New Jersey, where we had a medical law passed after 13 other states did. New Jersey passed the Compassionate Use Medical Marijuana Act, becoming the first state without home grow for patients. Then we passed it at the ballot box, and it didn't say home grow. Why would anybody assume it had home grow when we didn't allow it for patients? You follow? And it would be people who, well, they don't follow this because you know it's not their main concern, and you know it shouldn't be really for most people. So the hearing is where it starts. It's where the big interest happens. If it's just for the medical bill, it's the same stuff that would be said if it was for the adults in combination or the separate bill. It's the same information. So it also means that perhaps Craig Coughlin would have to do the same thing for the bill that's sitting in the assembly. So it was 1 week it was on the 13th that these bills were automatically introduced. The one for patient home grow for 4 plants, it's the same bill, and all of the same co-sponsors are listed. So it has 9 co-sponsors, 3 are Republicans and 6 are Democrats. That makes it proportionately a very much a bipartisan bill. As a matter of fact, with 15, if it's still 15 Republicans and 25 Democrats, I think the 3 out of 15, 20% of Republican senators co-sponsor it, and it's less than that for Democrats. I don't know what that would be, 625 for. I don't know. But it's considered somewhat a bipartisan bill, even though it's got 2 Democratic primary sponsors. It has bipartisan co-sponsorship. It's also time for those co-sponsors to officially ask Senate President Scutari to allow Joe Vitelli to post the bill. So people who have a co-sponsor as their district senator really should be asking, will you do that? I'm in an email, and then let me know when you have, because you don't want to be a co-sponsor and not answer a constituent's letter like that, right? It's a simple thing. Just want you to ask them. You'll likely get turned down, but that's a starting point. It's not a defeat getting turned down. It makes it go on record and the clock starts ticking as to why not. It's the way that keeps it moving by doing that. To that effect, I mean, geez, Minority Leader Bucco, Chris Alamada is a constituent. And, it'd be like a really fun request. I'm going to get something to him like that. So it's a way to say hi, too, to the, but, they're not a member of the same political party. It's just it would be a nice, fun, kind of funny interaction. So it's kind of like that Chris did resign from the board of Steve Cross to, have as clean a line as he could from the get-go. But then here he has what I would think is a welcome chance, because if he did that, and if Senator Bucco just emailed them back and said, yes, I will ask, and I'll let you know how it goes, that's the Minority Leader Bucco acting as the check and balance he's supposed to. Simply ask. You don't have to argue for it, just ask. And then it's up to us, and I've been taking it upon myself to make sure that, everybody's opinion doesn't count till after a hearing. Who doesn't know that? I mean, they call it an informational hearing for a reason. It's where they get to take part, senators, and they get to have senators from their own party sitting in that committee hearing with the ability to ask questions of anybody that gives testimony. Who are you? What are your credentials? Where do you get that from? Or in Chairman Vitelli's case, he'll say that's not true. He'll just say flat out, what you just said isn't true. There, that gets to happen then. And only then is anybody's opinion worth a shit. It's by definition, a well-founded opinion needs the informational hearing to happen. So it's still amazing that it happened like this already for 4 years. I was so sure after 2 years of Scutari running out the clock, it wouldn't happen again. And it happened easier the second time around than the first time. So I guarantee there's no chance it's going to get run out this session. That won't happen. There's ways to put a stop to that shit for real. But I don't know. I'm going to be hopeful. It's sort of like, I'm not going to get blindsided if I have hope. I'm not turning the other cheek. I got my head on a swivel. It's just that somehow it helps me to operate on the level I need to really do what it is, and not miss certain things, and not cut corners. You know, I mean, it's the one good thing smoking cannabis is good for. See, I need a new way to think about this. Then I get to blame it on that. You know, Kathy, what are you doing? I got to smoke a lot of pot. I got to come up with an idea. Makes it sound like I'm, working towards something. And then I got to wonder if that isn't just a real natural rationalization. Hey, I'm 73. I always thought this part of my life went with I get to smoke pot whenever I want. Apparently it does. Which surprisingly isn't right away just because of that. It'll be like 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm realizing why I'm not really in my groove. So there, that's good. Message of hope for me.
What do you think Mikey Sherrill is going to do that Phil Murphy hasn't done?
That she's going to say to her Senate president, I want this bill heard. Yes, everybody else has deserved an explanation on what you're saving New Jersey from, what you're doing. It's been unclear. There's no transparency. And I said some things before the election that indicated I wouldn't put up with this. Are you going to make me look bad, Nick? Is that the way you want to start our relationship? By not allowing a healthcare bill to be heard for unknown reasons? There. Yeah. How long did that take?
Healthcare bill. It's a healthcare bill, but this bill is actually 5 plants for recreational and 10 plants per patient. Is that what I read, right?
Yeah, and that's the one I don't want heard without the patients one being heard first, because Jake's Law took patients down that road once before, and you know what I'm talking about. It's like when you have 3 people sponsoring the patients, the adults only, you got 3 co-sponsors, you got 9 on the patients. That means 6 people co-sponsor patient home grow that do not co-sponsor adult home grow, which means hooking the 2 together is a negative for patients. And I'm not gonna let that happen quietly again. Remember, they couldn't even be decoupled. So there are 3 separate bills. They should all be heard. I say that's good. But what's going to happen is the one that's going to get the serious consideration is the one that has the co-sponsors from both parties. I don't know if it's 2 Democrats and 1 Republican or 3 Democratic co-sponsors for the adult version. But keep in mind what Mikey Sherrill said was very relevant to adults. She pretty well addressed them separately, saying the same thing about each, if you follow me. Yeah, same old. It's just about, again, it's about being heard. If a person's against it and they don't want it heard, it's because they know they're full of shit and it should be a law. The people that don't want it heard are the people that are against it. But the people who are for and co-sponsors should want it to be heard and should be doing more about it. Co-sponsor doesn't mean you're going to say boo to the Senate president. It just means that you're signing on saying if it gets to a vote, I'm saying I'm going to vote yes. And then keep in mind that Senator Nick Scutari did not bring a bill up for a vote that had 26 co-sponsors, had to do with smoking in casinos. So I guess it was a healthcare bill as well. But he didn't let that come up for a vote for whatever behind the scenes reason for that. And considering that 26 people out of the other 39 senators, we have 40, he's one, 39 other senators, exactly 2/3 co-sponsored it. And governor said he would sign it. And Nick Scutari did not let it get voted on. So it's not about co-sponsorship. It's just about it's censorship. It's de facto censorship of the information that would be very helpful coming out from credible sources too, credentialed sources, and people who don't want it Sheriff's Officers Association. There's Law Enforcement Officer Association, the minor ones that I guess might be okay with it, but they're going to speak against it. People in the rehabilitation industry usually have something to say about it. David Evans will resurface. He's like a cicada, you know. He's burrowing up right now, or whatever they do. Him and the others. So I look forward to it. And patients who can physically get to a committee hearing can go have their say. They can have their say facing the people that are going to vote against them. And they can know who they are and speak directly to them. To be able to look somebody in the face saying what, you know, taking that, you get to do that. And I would think that would be where some people who have the resources should put some effort into making sure that patients would be able to get there. You know, a lot of times it's a matter of finances or transportation or something. You know, or is that again like my pie in the sky thing, thinking that people are going to take advantage after all this time? Really make sure it happens. You know, get to that hearing, get the right people to the hearing. And that's when, you know, you'd have somebody that would simply read testimony from Senator Scutari's counterpart in New Hampshire saying opposite. It'd be entered into, you know, that person wouldn't even have to, you know. In my mind, it'd be kind of nice to be able to have my phone on and hold it up and have a legislator on speaker have something to say at a committee hearing. They'd allow that. It's fun stuff. Everybody forgets because it's been so long. Seriously, when you think about it, there's people who've never really had a committee hearing like that to go to. I got to tell you what, the media, especially the local media, is going to be all over that if a hearing gets posted. Offer. And, you know, the good it would do more than a few people to grow their own, especially if they're homebound. It's almost like you're growing a friend, you're growing medicine. And if they've never, you know, watched the miracle, you know, from a clone to 4 plants, they'll be naming them and stuff, you know. Do we have to put them down? Can I keep one for a pet? There is something about that, I understand, you know.
I'm trying to figure out something here. It says here, a person aged 21 or older may grow or possess up to 6 marijuana plants for personal recreational use with a maximum of 12 plants per household.
Right.
Oh, 12 plants per household.
Yeah. So if there's 5 adults, you can't go like 30. You know, it won't be 5 for everybody.
Okay, so for patients, they may grow or possess up to 10 plants
for
personal use with a maximum of 12 plants per household.
Yeah, see, that's odd. They can grow 10 with a maximum for how many per household? 12? How do you only get 2 more? See, at least for the adults, it's doubled, right? It's like 6 for adults and 12 per household. Oh, that's like 2 adults. Patients, it's 10, should be 20. Patients are getting screwed even on the proportion.
A little bit.
Well, no, a lot. That should be 20. It should be twice the amount. If one's allowed to grow 10, what if there were like 2 patients? They're both getting cut back. What about 2 adult non-patients? They get the full amount, doubles. Come on, numbers are my thing, man. Well, one of my things. You know, they give relativity. You know, when used properly, when it's said that you can reduce the price of a drug by 200%, then that's not proper use of numbers. However, I can two bills need to be heard for sure. The one with both of them, I'd be definitely on the other side of that. I'd say there's no purpose to doing that, really. It as long as the patient's only bill, the one that's now 1758, the number is now. That needs to be heard. All else should be heard with it. All the bills should be on the table if they're looking at it from different directions. But if only one could be heard, it'd be the patient's one, because that would open the door for the other two. Well, for the adult one, then it's the only. I hope adults find some. I was going to say vigor. I don't know that I've ever used that word. I mean, I wouldn't even know it if it weren't for John Kennedy. I don't know what vim is. Okay, yeah, vim. Do it with some vim. Yeah, it's like vim and vigor, Trinidad, Tobago, Minneapolis, St. Paul. It just doesn't work for, really, Jake's Law was designed to get adult legalization rather, over the finish line, and it couldn't do it, and that was like the saddest thing ever. And for those that don't know, you couldn't just uncouple a bill. It was like, okay, that bill failed. Oh, now patients didn't just have their own bill. It took 6 to 8 months or so off. Made their improvements later. And Jake's Law was a game changer. It really was. Okay, while I'm on it, I still think that patients who paid sales tax, it's a matter of record. At the dispensaries have the records to, sum it up. I think they should get that in free vouchers at dispensaries, because not just did New Jersey before cannabis never tax medicine, but when they say it's considered on par when it comes to legal stuff and legislation, on par with prescription drugs, in other words, it's not going to be second class medicine. And when the Division of Taxation in New Jersey did not want to collect a tax and supported bills that rescinded it, it's I'd like to make them say no. It'd be a tough one for Mikey Sherrill. Long before your time, Governor, patients were taxed, and then when New Jersey decided that was wrong, they didn't just stop taxing it; they phased it out over years. Patients died during the phasing out. That it was like, oh, we don't want to take away 6.25% of your medicine, which would be the tax rate, which means if you couldn't afford your whole supply and you paid taxes that much on it, that otherwise would have gone towards the medicine, and what I figured it out to be a day and a half of medicine per month was taken away by the fact that it was taxed. Well, they can't get that time back, they can't get that back. But what they can do is get the money back or get it in the form of a voucher at the very least. And then work that out with dispensaries, how that works. Now, I know it probably wouldn't happen, but I just want that to have a try. Doesn't cost money, just poke the bear a little bit. And then when it doesn't happen, it's a matter of record. It's not a self-fulfilling prophecy. They would never do it. Yeah, no shit. They won't do it if somebody doesn't try to make a stab at. Why not? I mean, why not? As a matter of fact, I was the one. Okay, I didn't actually do it, but I found who would do it. I got in touch with Wikipedia to say that what they had to say about New Jersey was inaccurate. It says that they don't collect taxes on medicine, and they do collect it on medical cannabis. Less than a week later, it said, yes, they don't collect taxes on medicine except medical cannabis. So you change that. It's a simple little thing, but
that's sad though.
Yeah, well, it is sad, but also when a division of taxation supported, anything that has to do with collecting taxes, a bill, they get to weigh in their board of whatever on whether they support a bill that has to do with taxation. So this had to do with taxation. There was a bill that would have rescinded it, and they voted affirmatively that they would support that bill, meaning they didn't want to collect that tax. And then it got phased out. It's like, okay, instead of collecting 6.25% of your medicine for our money, not letting you have it, we're going to phase that down to 4% for next year, and then 2%. The goal of saying, because we, the Treasury, need 4% of what your medicine would be, that. And then if you don't have enough money to buy all your medicine, we're still taking that 4% away in addition to what you can't afford. That's the actual reality of the results of that. Mm-hmm. So how does New Jersey square the insult to literal injury? If it's an injury and you're a patient because of the pain, they literally are adding insult to your injury by taking 4% of your medicine away for a year, then 2%. And then if you live that long, you don't have to pay taxes on your medicine then. How is that? Should that not? It should be the money coming in for legalization should be what funds it. It makes sense. I mean, it's exactly where it should come from.
But we're winning because we're living. We're still here. We're winning.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, Liz.
Sorry I'm late.
Liz lights up. Liz lights up.
It's about to light up. I was on a work call with the accountant, and my head is still spinning. He makes me crazy. He makes shit up as he goes along. I swear to God he does. So, cheers. I'll tell you, I've been reading Marijuana Moment. I get Tom Angelini. He has a newsletter, and the country's watching New Jersey on the home grow now.
Yeah, I know Tom really, really good from back in the day because he was the one that called me up early in 2003 to see if I could come up to Rhode Island for the Northeast Regional Students for Sensible Drug Policy Conference. So it was like the whole Northeast Regional. I said, yeah. And he assumed that I would have somebody take care of Cheryl and just wondered, is there any way you have time to be able to work to do this? And I said, no, I can't leave her. I can bring her with me. And he never even considered the possibility. And it kind of blew him away. And then when they got to him and 75 people, these are like really the up and coming. What an audience. When I was talking with Cheryl just right there, they were like a photograph. There was no movement. They were intently listening. It was unsettling at first, Mm-hmm. Yeah, it had an effect. I mean, it was like cheating. Didn't really matter what I said. But one of the students, Justin Holmes, asked me if a couple of them could stop up to the room we had at the Holiday Inn. They wanted more. And so I said, well, yeah. Now, Todd McCormick's brother, he's the one that Woody Harrelson bailed out when he got arrested for growing a whole lot for research in California. But anyway, Ann McCormick from Rhode Island, she was there as a speaker as well. So Ann and Cheryl and I were back at our room. Somebody had scored me some smoke, from on campus there. And it was funny. They said, you want quality or quantity? And I laughed and then I started to talk and I laughed. I said, he didn't want to assume. So anyway, yeah, it was good. and we were getting pretty good. Just finished eating, and I got a call at the room, and it was like, yeah, this is Justin, the guy you were talking to when you said can we come up, and I said, yeah. And he goes, how many people do you think the room would hold? And I said, I don't know, 30, 35. He goes, I'll be right up. Yeah, it's like a 28, 29 students. And, with kind of leaning and sitting on the dresser and around the edge of Cheryl's bed and around the edge of the other bed, and a couple of chairs. It was an amazing 2 hours. But I'm just saying this so you see it as Tom Angel sees it. Because this is kind of what blew him away, too, is at the end, it was time for them to go. Cheryl fell asleep, and I said, well, yeah, listen, before you go, listen, I'm going to wake up Cheryl, And yeah. So then I had to, fess up. I mean, she wasn't doing good. And I said, this is like, you're going to be saying goodbye. So, you have the opportunity to do that. So basically, without getting in some long line, there was like 2 or 3 people at the side of the bed, one by one, bending over past, to say, you rock, Cheryl, yeah, and give her a little hug or something. And it just like kept up, So it was like watching something that would precede a funeral, where you have a chance to say goodbye to somebody, but while they're alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it created quite the reaction. And Tom pretty well figured out right then what he wanted to do with the rest of his life. And now look what he does. So that's right. I'm taking partial credit. He's really, what he does is quite the service.
I'll tell you, I can't even imagine what's in your brain. Okay, you just, oh my God. The knowledge is crazy.
Yeah. I like that it allows us to know what's going on in other states, which is good, because it does affect what's going on here. This is stuff to point to. It's the beauty of the way it works here, 50 states. You try it. We all get to look at how it works out. You try to get it passed. We get to see if it's possible, And I would like to quote Nick Scutari for his wisdom. Yeah, I know. Don't hear those words in that order, do you? In saying that we shouldn't let perfection be the enemy of the good. So rather than have some sort of quest for a perfect homegrown law, you should make it as good as possible. And like Zen Gopal would say, we still haven't settled on a proper alcohol control laws. We're changing them all the time. They're always being changed. So, that's
okay.
That's all well and good.
Okay. Yeah, you amaze me just listening to you, and the mind full of information, stories. Your memory is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
blows me away. It really does every week. It just like, I don't know what you take, but and if it's just weed, that.
Ask me where my bowl is right now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but dates, times, like, yeah, he's
like his own little chat GPT.
It's kind of like muscle memory, of your physical. You don't think about tying a shoe. Yeah, it's like when I've said something as many times as I've tied my shoes, it rolls off. But it's also things are a work in progress the whole time. And somebody else mentioned it. It's like, non-voting informational hearing is good. The non-voting part, because whether it's sort of like, even if they aren't thinking, oh, well, then if it non-voting, and then I like to open that into, that's where you say, well, you really shouldn't have the hearing and then vote. You should have hearing and then have it vote in a different session, because you want to know how to make. You don't have to make up your decision right then, and it would also give people who aren't right there, time to weigh in or think about it. But yeah, the committee votes on what our Senate President wants come pretty quick.
Yeah,
it's
this
different now. It's different now.
Yeah, Gopal, and who was the other one that brought it in?
Senator Singleton.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, Singleton did it first, and Gopal signed on.
But it appears from things that I am hearing that it's going to be pretty aggressive. It's going to go pretty quick. They're not fucking around anymore.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's this is going to be things are going to get done. I think it's going to
happen quick.
Well, the hearing needs to happen before the end of March. It should be, or whenever they get scheduled. It could be in April. When it gets past that, things start to back up because of getting the budget by our own state constitution. Have to have it all in order, balanced.
Yeah.
On July 1st, so things start taking that over. It's really the story of it being blocked for the end of the session when it was first introduced, and Sweeney didn't allow it to be heard. That was a little bit less than a year, and then he got voted out and Scutari took over, and he ran it out 2 full sessions. There's the only possible I'm sorry for that our new governor could offer would be to make sure it gets heard. I mean, if she doesn't want to force them to post it for a vote, that's a different story. But it will be after the information is out. So it won't be like legislative censorship, which is what it is. And that's when you get to use the word de facto too, because who doesn't love being able to say that? Both small letters if you're printing it out, though. 2 words, de facto. Yeah, it's
you just blow me away. And I think we should nominate you to be the cannabis historian of New Jersey.
Yeah, well, I put in the time.
You should.
I could add to whatever the history is. It's like you do things. I think being scared is the biggest motivator. I mean, fear really is.
Oh yeah.
And that's where my motivation came from. But it was 1994 when I handwrote snail mail, printed, because I print quick, a letter that I then copied 125 times, so I could send it to all 40 senators and all 80 assembly people, plus the governor and members of the cabinet. So that meant I had to write all those addresses, and I had to write all the return address. I didn't have a stamp. Yeah, I mean, and then it was 2 pages, so I had to fold it properly and do all that, and it bulks up to you feel like you're a mail carrier or something.
I know.
And
making the 2 pages bulks it up even more.
I had an 18% return rate, which I was very disappointed in, and yet that hasn't happened at that maximum rate since.
Yeah, I'm 18% ROI is.
But in 1994, there wasn't anything to ask for. It wasn't legal in any state. Just 2 years, obviously, for California. It was 1 year before. They failed in 95, so it became at least an issue then. All I had was California resolution from the state legislators sent to the president, vice president, and the cabinet about that they should allow it to be easy, whatever. It was about medical cannabis law, and they urged them to work towards that or something. And I thought, oh, good, a resolution there. But what I had was simple. I was a one trick pony. Why would I want it legal as well? If you use it edibly, you know, you don't want to go out buying an ounce at a time because it risks more times of being arrested or something, you know. So you'd want to go out for a quarter pound anyway, which is way more than the 25, you know, is either an ounce or 50 grams. I forget which they were using them, but it's when you could not find anybody being arrested for having that amount without also being charged with intent to distribute. It was all automatic. So I had to maintain that in Cheryl's case, it wouldn't be intent to distribute, you know.
It's intent to medicate.
Yeah, well, I could make that clear. So what I said is there should be a law that if this person's physician recommends it and says, yes, I am in favor of this opportunity here, if that happens and they get caught with it, it shouldn't be possession, okay, but not intent to distribute. So I went through everything I did and showed up at the Sheriff's Officers Association meeting when current Senator James Holsapple showed up and argued my point with questions from the audience. You know, I was able to immerse myself in that. And in the times I was able to bring Cheryl, it was instant press coverage. It was like, let's see, going to see then Governor McGreevey, and I think John Corzine was running for Senate then, and he would be there. It was down at the lighthouse down in Cape May.
Mm-hmm.
So we went down there, and Governor McGreevey's people came up to Cheryl and me and said, "Would you like to talk to the governor?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." We didn't have signs. We didn't have signs. We were just hanging out.
Yeah.
So they ushered us over. It was like outdoors, up to the shade of a tree, where we met with Governor, his wife, Diane, I think was her name, and their 12-year-old daughter, Murtaugh. It's an Irish name, and I don't know how to pronounce it. But anyway, yeah. And it was funny because I didn't attack. I made the case for we needed to talk about this, you know, and it was fun. But the picture that I have still available to both was that the wife was listening intently. He was reaching over, put his hand on my shoulder, like smiling, and I don't know what I was looking, but it was the daughter. She had what would be known as, I guess, the Madonna pose. Exactly. She had her hands crossed like this, with her head kind of off to the side, you know, looking right at Cheryl. So it was like stuff like that was powerful, and it was good to keep the door open until what was not much of a bandwagon came. And, you know, like you were saying, you know, the history of it, it's people should be, I think, more ready to celebrate pushing it over the finish line now, because that was a long time ago to a lot of people. A lot of people who are really solid advocates now weren't even alive in the 90s, you know, which was, you know, where the groundwork was laid. You know, that was, we had to lay, literally walking across the state to make a point with that was the easiest thing I've ever done. It was left, right, left, right, left, right, don't stop. Stop to rest, left, right, you know. And 58 miles in 25 hours. And I had my say and got to talk with not the governor, his chief of staff, and his the head of health then in 1993, Dr. Bruce Siegel, made inquiries on the federal level on Charles' behalf. Solid thing to do, for so long ago. So, but there are I guess others. I really hope there's some way with this hearing. What will it take to get Brian Cummings there? And kind of everyone, especially people who are they're all sympathetic people testifying, testimoniers. Yeah, I'm properly lubricated here tonight. I just feel, I don't know, not determined, not anger. It's like little parts of certain important emotions that some of them I thought to be mutually exclusive, and when they exist together, you never know what the synergy could work out being, and luck, a little bit of luck always helps. You never know when that's going to happen. Oh, you're muted, Liz. You're muted. Mute button. Mute you. I see your little microphone with a slash across it, Liz. Can't hear you.
I'm here.
Well, yeah, but you're.
I'm here.
I was muted too.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Well, the other lefty's muted.
Yeah,
there's two lefties here tonight.
I know.
One should be a righty.
Damn it! I was going to say that. That's not fair.
But they'd probably be on the wrong side like one time. And, George W. Bush always amused me in a nice way, though, even, but when he is saying he did it, your left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, but he used the wrong hands when he said it. And I just thought that was awesome. You know what his best faux pas was when he'd get confused, which of course we're used to a president doing that like every minute now. But back in the day with him, it would happen to him too. And he was supporting or not in favor of tort reform because of gynecologists in Texas, would be impacted. And the way he did it, he said, that they wouldn't be able to, and then the gynecologist would no longer be able to practice their love. Practice their love? In his head, what's a gynecologist? Oh. And somehow he came up with that. It's funny, you can look up anybody's stupidest thing said, but his were just like hilarious, The king thing you got to ask kids is they learning,
Well, they don't know how to tell time on an analog clock, so I don't know what to tell you.
Well,
My grandsons and my granddaughter are going to learn.
To do what?
Read an analog clock.
Oh, analog. I had to think, wow.
A clock. I love
yeah,
clocks.
Yeah. Well,
I have two in my office, one on one wall, one on the other. I like clocks.
It's become a skill, almost like speaking a different language, reading a map.
Oh my God, yeah.
Reading a map. Here's a fold-out map.
The biggest issue was folding it.
Yeah, well, but it started long enough ago, and I first noticed it when I had to get to Dulles International for an airport, and I had a map, but I wanted somebody to show me on the map at the motel. Nobody could. They could tell me how to get there. They could tell me. And, it's like you look for the Marriott and it's coming up. And no, I don't want, I want to see it on that. Nobody could. What they should have told me is, oh, by the way, it's not really near Washington, D.C. proper. It's going to take you about 45 freaking minutes to get there. I was going to pick up Gary Stork and Jackie Rickert from Wisconsin. Jackie Rickert of the Jackie Rickert medical marijuana bill there. My advocacy buddy, Gary Stork, well, that's where I met him. I mean, I actually met him briefly, but got to know him there. And when I got there, I had a wheelchair for Jackie. So she was using an airport wheelchair. So I had Charles extra one. And I brought it and I went there. And when I got in, I was late enough where the flight was off the screen, landed and everything. There was nobody at their ticket counter or whatever little airline it was. It was a big airport.
Home in bed.
Yeah. Well, I'm worried I'm not there. I'm an hour late. And I couldn't find help in the airport. And I'd had it. So what I did is I took the wheelchair to go down where there was elevators, one going down and one going up from a lower floor. Now I went down the one, obviously the correct one there, and there's one or two people coming up the other one. But as I'm doing the wheelchair down the steps, I'm bouncing it off the steps. So you're hearing, you hear that crashing noise. And by the time I got down there, there was 4 or 5 authority figures waiting for me, and they were ready. What are you doing? I go, I'm looking for you. And I took over,
While right, Johnny.
Yeah. While I was doing that, I look up and I see Jackie in an airport wheelchair and Gary come around the corner. And it was just hilarious. They said, yeah, we heard that and figured it was you. And I'm like, what? Well, thank you, I suppose.
Well, see, It all worked out.
Yeah.
Johnny, absolutely. Cursive, I love that. And stick shift.
Yeah, I miss that.
Mm-hmm. I love a stick shift. I would be able to not have to use my brake on a hill just by.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was like my favorite thing.
Well,
to do.
you were better.
Pop start. I had to do a few times.
You were better off if you were on an incline at a light. You were better off using the clutch to keep it there to get going, because otherwise you had to take your foot off the brake
and onto the clutch very fast.
You would go backwards a little bit then.
Oh
yeah. And then sometimes somebody would be like right up behind you, and it's like, but there was just something I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It was something that I just loved to do. It was like I was always, and the bigger the hill, the better.
Yeah, and back in the day with the cars I had, if you're making like a left-hand turn, you'd put your hand underneath to bring it around, because it didn't have power steering, and you have more force on your hand at that point going like that. Mm-hmm. and you can't go around that far where you can look at that, so it would always be like that,
Oh yeah, you would have to fight, pull, and
roll up the window.
Those were the days, though.
Yeah, well,
but definitely stick shifts and cursive writing they don't teach anymore.
I know, yeah.
It's
well, the independence that you get from the way it was driving back in the day was, what happens if you had to know how to, nice to know how to change a tire. You didn't have services to come out and take care of shit, and you didn't have a telephone. Right. So what do? You hitchhike. You'd stop somebody. Could you make a call? I mean, things. In my case,
shit happened, man.
Hitchhike.
Shit happened.
Yeah, but
and you know what? We figured it the fuck out.
Yeah.
Right or wrong, we figured it the fuck out and we made it fucking work.
Yeah. Well,
that's a lot of fucks.
Yeah. You have plenty to give.
I have none to, you know what?
You just gave them all away there.
Check this out. I got this. I don't know where the hell I got it. It's a jar of fucks.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I don't give a fuck.
I don't want to know. I don't want to look at one. Yeah.
Let me see. They're little wooden. All right, let's see.
Huh.
I don't give them out. They're my fucks and I have to keep them. I'm smoking Kind Tree. Kind Tree Tea Time number 10. It's an indica. It's a reserve flower.
You ever hear of Godfather pizza? I've got pizza. Godfather Canada strain. Godfather OG.
Godfather?
Godfather with maybe an OG.
Yes, actually, I have. I've been.
I'd like to find some of that.
Oh, it's good. Actually, I've been trying to connect for a while. With her name is Bronwyn, and we, when she's not available, I'm available, and vice versa. And so we haven't connected yet because I'd like to partner up with them. And it's a very good product. Look at this. Look at that bud.
Ooh. Yeah, man.
Oh, look at me. I'm being all fancy and shit. Clearly it's a good weed. I'm feeling good. I'm chatty. Yeah. I got a good head high.
Well, the Godfather, what I wanted to see was, and not because it has like a really healthy THC percentage, but because of its well-known sedative effect. Because kind of like that's what I'd like for my last smoke of the day to have,
Yeah.
And then I accept it as sort of like challenge.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Well, others were buying milk and bread and whatever else you do when you got a big storm coming in.
I'm like, who's gonna hook me up?
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be stuck at home.
I was like,
well, honestly,
I'll take one of these and I'll take one of these and thank you, I'm ready.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Mac. No, I have some stuff to review this weekend. So I am this was one of them. I picked this up at Blackburn. And I'm going to be doing a review on it. I got to figure out where the hell I can post my videos where they're not taken down.
Joy Leaf. Johnny. That's the spirit. That's the one thing I get to go to dispensaries for, is something I can't get at my home delivery service. And that's really, for special occasions and all, but well supplied, very pleasant.
Yeah, I we're having a storm.
Mm.
I actually have to go to one dispensary tomorrow and pick up a vape. It's going to be Fernway.
Oh.
So that's exciting. It's a Fern. I love Fernway. I'm mad at them because, they took away the pre-rolls. Their pre-rolls were, primo. I really, really loved them, but they stopped making them. But, they still have the same strains in vape. So I will survive. I can rebuild. Oh, and it's freezing in here. So where you at? Oh, there you are. Hello.
Yeah, you mentioned vapes, and I got a 2-gram one that has a charger thing that, and I didn't realize I thought it was done. and I charge it up like a phone. And I just found out it worked. It's like too healthy of a cloud. Yeah, what is, I don't know if you can even see that, you know.
And do you put just the?
No, it's a throw. It's a disposable,
Oh,
but it's a 2 gram one. So
I'll tell you something. California, they have these vapes that are three different flavors and 3 different strains in one vape. You can smoke one, you can smoke 2, you mix them up, or you can smoke all 3.
Huh.
You know, that's for the serious. And, you know, actually, this is what it looks like. Do I have it?
Never heard of such a thing. Never saw it coming. Huh. So how do you, what, does each one have a button or something?
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
there's a button that you set it, but you know, when you take a hit, it lights up and tells you what you were smoking. You can't see it, but
Oh, no, I can see something.
yeah.
Hmm.
And it's so good.
I'm not like the only one that, not on this one, but the vapes that are longer. Am I the only one that ever occasionally try to light one up with a cigarette lighter? Because
Yep.
I put it in. I got a left hand putting it in, and I got the lighter ready in the right hand, and then it's like, oh, vape, you know. I like doing, you know, that lets me know there's something there, something to what I'm smoking.
Mm.
Yeah, it allows you to do stupid shit. Yeah, it's fine. It's just because I was smoking.
Listen, we do what we want.
Yeah.
You know,
such a ripoff at the dispensaries. Crazy expensive. Yes, they are.
I've been trying to, you know, learn to dab. I don't have like any dab equipment other than a bong.
Johnny knows where to get them, though. Johnny knows where all the deals are for dabs, which is usually Elizabeth, I think he said. Right, Johnny? There's a few places you go for your. I go to a hashery for weed or AYR for specials. Sometimes they have specials. But for dabs, yeah, there's places to go for dabs.
Air is a big one, AYR. You know, because they're partnered with the Mud Brothers.
Don't know who they are.
And actually, I had a oh my God, that's so cool. Thank you. I'll learn. What was I saying? Oh, the head. Yep. Thank you.
Zipper.
Okay. I'm excited. Oh my God, that's great.
Lovely. It's just wax.
Uh-huh. And you can do batter, butter, this and that.
Rosin, live resin.
Rosin.
All that.
You know, I'll tell you, weed was much simpler back in the day. And you didn't even know if it was day or night or whatever. You smoked it, you got high. You know, you went to 7-Eleven, you got yourself a treat, you came home, you ate it, you played video games, and went to sleep. I can't hear you.
There wasn't much mention of sativa or indica for decades, but it'd be like, yeah, this one it'll make you tired. This one make you laugh. You know, okay, it's, you know, indica, sativa, whatever.
Oh, Johnny, you're the best. First a song and now a pen. Thank you.
Well, normally I would trigger Wayne Barini right now, but he's not here. But this concludes our podcast for the evening. That was not good.
I'll say before we sign it off that I'm going to be more circulating on whatever Facebook presence I have and looking for people to share some simple things, you know.
Okay.
It's sort of like, I guess that's the best way to thank Jeff King for everything he's done. Ask other people to do the simple things that he did do that helped get us here. You know,
Jeff King got this done. He got this.
Yeah, he did. He opened the door with Then Go Paul, and that was so pivotal because Then Go Paul was not moving in this direction, and that was singly and solely because of Jeff King simply interacting with him on Facebook and putting the emails that didn't get answered on a website. So that when Then Go Paul type to him on Facebook, instead of trolling me here, why don't you hit me up legit for an appointment? To which he typed back, if I remember it right, unless I somehow improved it in my mind, I'm pretty sure I remember it right. He'll tell me. He said something that Jim Miller said this might happen. That's why I put the 2 emails that you didn't answer, legit emails, up on letpatientsgrowNJ.com. And that was it. He was right back in touch. Had to go further with Jeff off of Facebook. And Jeff, you know, he's Jeff. He lines it up straight. And apparently it worked. But it was the simple things, and he's done that ever since. And he's good to be part of a team where it's like, yeah, we all ask kind of a similar thing of our own legislators in our own districts. Mm-hmm. We could get a compendium of where their opinions are on similar directions we're talking about. It's as simple as that. And you know, it's actually a lot of that's come to help. And when it's all said and done, I'm going to track the spider web back to where it began. You know.
Well, thank you. I'm going to add Jeff King to our thank yous here because he's a big thank you to Jeff King. Thank you, Mad Hatter. Thank you, CMMNJ. Thank you, UFCW, Arlo Glass, OprahMachine.com, and SativaCross.org, where you can donate on the shop page where the shop is.
If you're on Facebook, you can have your birthday fundraiser. They like doing it, Facebook people. Sativa Cross is a 501c3 nonprofit. That means that you can simply say, yes, I would like to donate to Sativa Cross for my birthday if you want to do something. And, you know, they give you the opportunity, and it's not hard to do. And I've done it 3 years, and it's not a lot of money, maybe, but it's something. It's almost always something, and it costs nothing.
So
it's
yes,
like,
thank you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying that other people can do that too. It isn't even your money that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then share things that Lefty puts up or that I put up, or you know, just make sure that when you see something that you like, share it with your friends. You know.
Of course.
Especially this list here. What is a Facebook? Johnny says, well, hold on. What is a Facebook? All right, we always have one little laugh before the list. There it is. There you go. Thank you. Now get ready. Put your seatbelts on because this list sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It hasn't gotten longer in at least
don't get longer this year.
We're on a streak, you know.
Oh, we've gone 21 days without on January. Please keep the streak going. We need all the patience we can get at this point.
Yeah.
To help us. Oh my goodness. People like Cheryl Miller, Sabina Rose, Diane, Gracie, Cindy Mae, Marie, Jack, Joan, Randy, Polly, Bill, Chad, Jeremy, Colette, Matt, Troy, Russ, Roger, Jay, Ella, Hattie, Jackie, Anthony, Jake, Armando, Felicia, Lynn, Dan, Sean, Joyce, Lori, Frank, Brian, Flo, Carl, Thorne, Frank, Lorraine, Terry, Charlotte, Cher, Jay Bird, Michael, Marley, Colette, Brendan, Red, Rico, Lou, Becky, Lawanda, Chip, Paul, Lisa, Marcus, Gary, Julia, Wayne, Waxy, Joe Marie, Jeff. Hurtful. Hurts every time. You know how you say a winner every time? Hurts every time. Boom.
Yeah, well,
Smack you in every name. Smack in the head. Boom.
Yeah.
Smack in the head.
it's real.
Doesn't get any more real than that.
Yeah. I mean, most of this was people sticking up for other people's health, but over all these years, I think we've all come to realize it's for people's health. Even when they do it for fun, they get the health benefits. So, it's like it's win-win. But that's why it gets under my skin that, when things get stopped, informationally speaking. Yeah, we're in good shape this year.
Well, thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. See you Sunday, and have a great night.
You too, and thanks everyone.
Thank you,
See
ladies.
you Tuesday.
They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them.
The years condemn.
At the going down
of the sun,
and in the morning, we will
remember them.
Thank you.
Good job, man. Thanks. Appreciate it.